So everybody up, we're gonna bow into the flags. All right, everybody turn and face the flags. Get your feet together, turn it. Go now. Oh. And facing me, Juliet. Go now, Taekwon. So because it is difficult for me to do attendance and start class on time, I have very kindly asked Sarah McCormick to do the warm-up for us. So if you can listen to her, I am going to do my best to put the spotlight on Sarah so everybody can see her. Please follow along. Thank you very much, Sarah.
You're welcome, ma'am. It's me, Chaya, Kunye, and jumping jacks. And stop. Shake it out. Reach over to your left. Over to the right. Up. Baby back bend. Keep your head up. Straight forward down, hold your elbows and hang. Reach for the left. Over to the right. Back to the middle. Roll it up nice and slow. Nice long walking stance to one side. Go to the other side. Go down on one knee. Opposite leg is straight, toes pointing to the ceiling. Switch. Switch again. And switch. Sit back. Bent leg, straight leg. Go down over your bent leg. Sit up. Reach two hands for the straight leg. Sit up nice and tall. Put your hand behind you, twist to the back. And two hands to the straight leg again. Up, switch your feet. Down to the bent leg. Up, reach two hands for the straight leg. Put your left hand behind you. Turn to the back, sit up nice and tall. And 2 hands to the straight leg again. Feet apart. Down to the middle, elbows to the mat. Reach to the left, 2 hands. To the right. Back to the middle. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your feet, bottoms of your feet together. Butterfly. Rock from side to side. Stop in the middle. Push your knees down with your elbows. Up, flat. Knees down. Feet out in front. Reach up and down. Up and down. One more time, up and down. Take your left foot over your right knee. Pull your right foot back behind you and pull yourself straight forward down. Up, switch your feet. Right foot over left knee. Left foot behind. And stretch. And back for 20 sit-ups on your count. You're done. 20 push-ups. Done. Stand and fix your uniform. Wait for the screen. Stand your base.
All right, thank you.
Ma'am.
Let's see. There we go. All right, let me just fix my other screen. I need to get the grid back. All right. Sorry about that. I have, as I told you guys, sometimes I have a big screen over here. Let me just turn the screen so you can see. Over here I have a big screen TV. I want to be able to see everybody. You can wave and you'll see yourselves probably. so that allows me to see much more detail about what you guys are doing. All right, thank you, Sarah. Now, everybody, let's line up. Left leg forward fighting stance. Jump. And from here, let's start with front kick. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. And turn. Now, front kick and a punch. Same side. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. Now remember when you kick, these kicks need to be belt level. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. Turn. Now front kick, 2 punches. I want strong punches. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. Turn. Hana. Do. Sa. Net. Fighting stance turn. Skipping front kick. Hana. Do. And turn. Pick up that knee, get that kick, belt high or higher. Hana. Do. Fighting stance turn. Same thing. Hana. Do. Turn. Hana. Do. Fighting stance turn. Skipping front kick, reverse punch. Hana. Do. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. And turn. Hana. Do. Turn. Hana. Do. Fighting stance turn. Now it's turning kick with the rear leg. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Turn. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Fighting stance turn. Now it's 2 kicks in 1 count. That is 2 kicks but 1 step. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Now that foot on the floor is crucial to you holding your balance on this. Pay attention to what that's doing. Fighting stance turn. 3 kicks in 1 count. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Fighting stance turn. Now just 1 kick. Hana. On a really good kick. Do. Set. Net. Turn. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Fighting stance turn. Now, reverse punch, then the turning kick. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Turn. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Fighting stance turn. Turning kick, then the reverse punch. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Now each of these techniques techniques has to count. I want each of these strong. Looks like some people are sort of drifting through it. Fighting stance turn. Hana! Do! Side! Ned! Fighting stance turn. From here, step and then turning kick. But the way we're going to step is step, step, turning kick. All right? This is leading up to 1, 2. Matt, let's make that first kick a turning kick. So you're in your fighting stance. Left leg forward, quick fighting stance. The right leg is going to do a turning kick and then step down. Go ahead and do that. Then you're going to keep turning that leg with the other foot and do a second turning kick with the right leg. So it's, go back to your start, rear leg turning kick, reverse turn 1 step, rear leg turning kick. Ready. Hana! Now the other side. The room is going to spin the other way now. Left leg turning kick. Step with the other foot, and a second left leg turning kick. Fighting stance turn. So now we're doing left leg again. Ready? Left turning kick, step, turning kick. Make sure you have enough space for the second one. Right turning kick, step, turning kick. Fighting stance turn. So if you want to make it jump, go right ahead. That one is called the 360 front turning kick. You see it a lot, it's very flashy, you see it a lot in demonstrations. It's good to know the mechanics so that then you can learn to do it better. All right, everybody? Let's repeat that. Hana! Do! And turn. Hana! Do! Fighting stance turn. It is a lot of spinning. It is difficult when you have furniture in the way, but something interesting to do. All right, left leg forward fighting stance. Jump. This is side kick with the rear leg. Hana! Do! Set! There! Make side kick feel much more simple now. Fighting stance turn. Hana! Do! Set! Ned! Turn. Stepping behind the front leg, side kick. Hana! Do! Set! Fighting stance turn. Hana! Do! Set! And turn. Skipping side kick. Hana! Do! Set! Turn. Hana! Do! Set! Fighting stance turn. Now it's back kick. Hana! Do! Set! Ned! Turn. Hana! Do! Set! Ned! Fighting stance turn. From here, stepping forward low block, walking stance. Hana! Do! Set! Ned! Now that we're all close to the cameras, let's cross. Let me see your crossing. Good. Blocking hand is on the inside. Good. All right, fighting stance turn. Low block again. Hana! Do! Set! Ne. Fighting stance turn. Low block, then reverse punch. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. High block. Hana. Do. Make sure that back leg is locked. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. High block, then reverse punch. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. And turn. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Middle block at your L stance. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Now, middle block at your L stance. Then reverse punch in your walking stance. What did my foot do to get from one to the other? Remember, you gotta move that front foot wider. Ready? Ha! Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Ha! Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Now, middle guarding block. Middle guarding block with knife hand in your L stance. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. This needs to be a big gesture. It needs to be strong. Make sure it's strong. Fighting stance turn. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Fighting stance turn. Now it's knife hand strike. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Now the same thing, stepping back. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Stepping forward with a punch. Hana. Do. Se. Ne. Stepping back. Hana. Do. Remember, now that you're stepping back, remember to make sure your body is sideways. Se. Ne. Step forward. Paro. All right. So, let's go ahead and get ready for Chunji. Now, I was thinking today, I was watching a video on YouTube of a woman, a ballerina, doing a very difficult performance. And she was in the rehearsal room showing how it goes. And I thought, how does a black belt do Chunji? How does a black belt approach Chunji? So a black belt is looking at it from the point of view of stances. I step and I boom. I want this to land. I want it to be strong. And look how obvious my leg is that it's straight. That's what you want. And then making sure to lock the leg. When a black belt is working on Chunji, there's a lot going on in our heads. And it is a lot of the stances. It is a lot of making sure when we do our middle block that the knees are bending, that the stance is L stancing, for lack of a better verb, but that the feet are going the correct way. The arms The arms are going to do the right thing. So think about your legs, think about locking your straight leg, think about bending your legs and showing the difference. As I've said sometimes to people, when you do Chun-Ji, even your grandmother who has never done martial arts, who doesn't know anything about it, can say, that thing, meaning the walking stance, is really different from that other thing, meaning the L stance. You want somebody looking at it to go, oh, it's not the same, it's not the same low thing and middle thing. It's clearly two separate things. So let's do Chun-Ji, thinking about the stances being really to us, they're definitely very different things. We want to make sure it's not just in our heads, but in our bodies showing people. Ready with the Chun-Ji? Judy, and sit down. And paro. When I do it, and I switch from I've just punched, and now L stance, I really give a bit of a bounce here, really to feel that openness, that this is really something different from the thing that I was just doing a minute ago with my low block and my punch in the walking stance. When you're in a walking stance, when you get everything lining up correctly, the heel, just moving so you can see my feet. When I punch, the heel of my straight leg connects through the straight leg, through the hip, and it's actually pushing my arm forward on that punch. It all becomes one unit at the very moment of impact, and then everything relaxes. If you were to watch it in slow-mo, and can I tell you, when I edit the videos to put them on YouTube, and I watch myself, I watch Master Mini, the camera cannot capture the speed at the very end of that punch. What it sees is a blur of out, and then it comes back a little bit, because that's out of the muscles all working at once and extending, and then they relax into this position, the in-between stances, ready to do the next thing position. And I see that over and over again. And when you watch slow-mo videos of people punching in, well, anywhere on YouTube or anything, what you see is the blur is fastest in those last few inches. That's that acceleration we're all looking for. That's the acceleration we're seeking. So I want to do Chun-Ji again, and we're gonna feel for that acceleration. But remember, on the theme of stances, it starts down here. My heel pushes. I don't know if you can see. My heel, scooching forward a little bit, my heel is actually pushing my hip. And since my shoulder, I keep my shoulder with my hip, that's gonna push my punch forward. And so as I'm accelerating my fist, my leg is accelerating my fist into that punch. All right, everybody Chun-Ji once more. Ready? Chun-Ji. And sit down. And everybody, hello. All right. So, I know some people are thoroughly sick of Chun-Ji, and no matter how I talk about it, it's hard to rekindle an affection for the pattern. I know when you guys were white belts and you were first learning it, it was very, very cool to be doing Chun-Ji, and I want to try to get that excitement back, because Chun-Ji is simple on purpose. Things to keep in mind also, remember, everything comes together. So your fist is tightening, in addition to your leg locking, you're exhaling, and it all comes together in that one moment that's not even a full second, and then it stops. It helps me also to think about relaxing between the movements. So Taekwondo is not just making a shape, but how you get from low block to punch, to low block to punch, to middle block. It's that transition between the two that's also very important. We are going to move on. Let's see, what kind of belts do we have? We have a nice range. Let's go to Dosan. Dosan has a lot that is very interesting. I want you guys to think about when you're here, you come up for your guarding block. Make sure, see, I'm really extending that arm because that helps me drop it down to generate power. So this is the very beginning. You've done high side lock punch, high side lock punch. Bring your arms up, drop it down. And then you come up, and really, when you do the fingertip, really let that's again, that connection from the heel all the way through to the striking hand really makes a difference on that. All right, everybody, Dosan Junbi. If you do not know Dosan, do your pattern. Ready. Junbi, and Sida. So the same way we're thinking about Chunji and Dosan, taking certain movements and using them to generate power, you can do that with every pattern. Taking something like Chumu, 1, 2, by dropping into it, it helps me to generate more power. When you're in kwon and you do the 2 turning kicks, getting that same sort of feeling, once you get that feeling of dropping into a technique for a hand technique, then you can do that with the kicks as well. But actually with kwon, you have up near the flags, let's see, guarding block, fingertip, guarding block, turning kick. You want that body to be really relaxed in that. Then you have your dropping here in your kwon. You're dropping into the backhand that's punching. But if I stay upright, I'm only generating power from my arm. Once I drop into it, it becomes the kind of thing that is dangerous, which is what we want to be, right? Isn't that kind of cool? And so we can do this with any pattern. I happen to like Wanyo for also feeling that because you have the 4 corners of the same thing. So when you do Wanyo, you drop 1, you come up 2, and then drop again. And you get to do that for all 4 corners of the pattern. So let's do Wanyo, because we've got a lot of people who know Wanyo. And think about that dropping down to generate power. Dropping down just to drop down is not helpful. It's about bringing everything together to make your technique super powerful, super crisp and sharp. All right, everybody, Junbi, and Sida. Oh. Style points. You can get style points. Remember, Stop for a moment in your bending ready stance. Looks cool, is impressive. If you rush through that bit, it looks like you didn't really have control or balance. You want, if your pattern is going, it's not as big as an entire beat like that. It's a fraction, but it's just enough to show I've got control over this. Much the way black belts, when you do kwon and you go and you hold it, and your foot's in the air, and you hold it, and the idea is that is impressive. And later on in kwon when you come around to this, holding this just for a nanosecond, just for a tiny slice of time, gives people a chance to admire something that is not very difficult, but if you have everything aligned beautifully, if you're not bending over to one side, you're not bending forward, people can see when they see you straight on. It just looks good. And there are lots of places in Taekwondo where you can give a little hesitation to make yourself look cool, and that's playing with the timing like we do in sparring. So those of you who, many of you were here on Tuesday, and we were doing kick, put the foot down, kick, that's about the timing. And how long do you put the foot down for depends on what your opponent is expecting. If you do it slow 2-3 times, and then you do it really fast, they don't know what to expect. And we want to keep our opponent guessing. Timing is another theme within Taekwondo. Let's move on to another pattern. Let's see. I'm seeing people practicing the stuff I was talking about. That warms my heart. Let's do Jungun. Jungun, as you know, black belts, very, very important. Blue belts and red belts, it's fun. It stays fun. It's challenging when you're a blue belt, and it's still interesting. How many degrees later? South. Jungun. Jundi. I want to make sure I stay lined up in my camera. It's not easy today. All right, Jungun. And Sija. And share. All right. We are going to finish here for the class. I have a bunch of tips to give out. I also have realized that the little elves who take care of the attendance have been working very hard on things that are not attendance. So some tips have been a little delayed, but we're playing catch up. We'll get everything working properly for those who are on the receiving end. That said, in one household, we have Nahum with a yellow tip and Samuel with a yellow tip, who I'm going to say, your behavior was much better today, guys. I want to congratulate you. Good job. Let's everybody clap for Samuel and Nahum. And then we have a tip for Raga, and this is a black tip. Raga, your card actually was missing some classes. I got that updated. That was not the elves' fault. It was the gnomes, and they're very sorry, and you are now caught up to date. I think that's your second black tip. I would have to check your board of tips. That is it for today. Let's everybody up. We're going to bow out. And to the flags. Chariot. Kyungnan. To me, Chariot. Kyungnan. Taekwon. Facing the black belts. Chariot. Kyungnan. Taekwon. And our HUD student today is Janelle. Chariot. Kyungnan. All right. It was good to see everybody. If I don't see you, have a lovely weekend. Thank you for coming. I'll see you again soon.
All right, thank you.
Bye.